All right, everyone, welcome back to another review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Mer-Man. But this is not just the regular Origins Mer-Man. This is the Lords of Power Mer-Man. So this figure here, I absolutely love this figure. Mer-Man has always been one of my favorite characters in the Masters of the Universe as far as the bad guys are concerned. And here he is. This is the one that we always wanted as a kid, that looked like he did on the cartoon, or actually on the back of the package. When you bought this figure back in the day, this is what you were looking at right here. You weren't looking at the one that has, that we got with a weird, I don't know, cat looking face, the one that they used for Stinkor and all that stuff. This is Mer-Man. This is my Mer-Man. This is the Mer-Man that I like. And this is the Mer-Man that I prefer. So before we get into looking at this figure, I want to take a look at the one accessory that he comes with, and that is his sword. So Mer-Man comes with, and when I was younger, I used to think that this was like a corn on the cob type sword. Never did I think until I got older that it was actually a sword made of teeth from like a shark, or the nose of one of those dolphins, that have the sword on the side, or on their beaks, I should say. Not the spear, not the swordfish that normally we know of, but the other ones that actually have the teeth off the side. That's what it reminds me of. But anyway, here's his sword. It's just casted in yellow plastic. I apologize for the rant, and I apologize for sounding congested because I'm still under the weather while I do this review. So I do apologize for that. As you can see, he has, excuse me, all his teeth, all the teeth, not his teeth, but all the teeth that run through the sword. And then you have the bone, and then of course the hand brace that the vintage used to come with. So that's it for the sword. Now let's get into this figure. So the face sculpt, let's get into the paint first. Let's take a look at this face sculpt. This is a fantastic face sculpt. You have his, I'd say carp looking eyes. And then you have, of course, the antenna, I guess you would say that these are on his head. And then you have his, teeth. Kind of reminds me of did I say carp? I didn't want to say carp. Kind of a fluke. Kind of reminds me of a fluke. And if you guys have ever seen a fluke fish, they have sharp teeth inside the mouth, and both of the eyes are on the same side of the head. That's what he kind of reminds me of. That, at least his face does anyway, right here. So anyway, you have you have the yellow around the eyes. Very, very nicely done. I like the way he has that little grin that he has on his face. Looking at the back of his head, you can see more of the of Mer-Man's head, which is actually kind of, now that I look at it, it kind of reminds me of like a jellyfish back here. Anyway, really, really cool. I don't have a whole lot of paint smudging or anything like that with the eyes. Everything is perfectly done. I like it. Same thing with the teeth. And then we get into his battle harness. As you can see, he has fins from a fish here, and this is a fish's mouth, the sharp teeth. Maybe it's a shark, maybe it's a megalodon that he took out, and then he has the teeth that come around. Really cool battle harness for a figure. And then we come down, of course, he has his scarab on the front. Let me not forget about that. That's what that always reminds me of. This jewel here always reminds me of a scarab. Then you come down to the fins along the waist, along with the jewels that kind of hang down here along the belt. Then getting into the figure, of course, he's all pretty much casted in green. Getting down to his arms, you can see he has shark fins right here on the side of his gauntlets. Making his way down to his boots, he has the reptile feet, just like the vintage did, and then he has more of the aquatic type styling on the boots. Very, very, very nicely done. And then I know the other version has scallops, or more like scales in the shorts. This one does not. It's just all smooth. I'm glad I was able to find this figure. Yeah, I didn't think I was ever going to find him, and I did. And he is fabulous. I mean, just fabulous. So if you get your hands on him, he's great to have in your collection. Now moving on to articulation. This is a standard Origins articulation. You know, Mer-Man can look up that far. He can look down. He has lots of head tilt, and he can turn his head side to side. His arms, they can move all the way out to the side. Bring them back in. They have no bicep swivel. Huh, that's the first of knowing. They have an elbow swivel. That's what it is. It's an elbow swivel. Oh, that's what I get for not paying attention. They have a single joint in the elbow. The muscle, of course, only lets it bend so far. And that's fine. But it's cool to have these He-Man figures that are articulated. His wrists move side to side. He has a wrist swivel. He has a waist swivel. No ab crunch whatsoever. He does not have a thigh swivel. He does not have... I apologize. He can do the splits about that far. And he has a single jointed knee. And he has a boot swivel. He has front tilt, or back tilt, I should say, front tilt, and then he has a rocker for his ankles. I have to say, and then here for his weapon, he can hold it, just plug it in. I don't have to say anything really. I just was getting ahead of myself there, so I apologize. And then you plug his weapon in, and there you go. You have Mer-Man. This guy is really, really cool, guys. If you get a chance to pick him up, if you do find him in a collectible store, don't pay tons of money for him. I actually got this guy, I found him in Target, and I ended up picking him up for, you know, originally these guys are going for like $16, $17. I ended up picking him up for like $7. How I got lucky, I don't know. Right time, right place. But anyway, this is the review on Mer-Man, and I just want to show, you know, to you guys that this guy, he's great. From the head all the way down to the toes. I love this sculpt on this guy. Better than the one that we got in the vintage toy, in my opinion. Anyway, because this is the Mer-Man I like. I have the Mo2 Mer-Man. The one that is the massive, it's a huge scale. And that Mer-Man is killer. So I just want to do a couple comparisons before we end this review. So really quick, let's take a look. I apologize, I can't speak today. Let's take a look at Mer-Man with a couple other figures and see how. All right, so here we have Obi-Wan Kenobi from Revenge of the Sith with Mer-Man. As you can see, they're close to the same height. If not, I think Mer-Man might be just a tad bit shorter than the Black Series. But regardless, could you have these figures in the same universe? Absolutely. Would it be kind of strange? I don't know. I mean, hey, you know, the Star Wars universe or the He-Man universe, Masters of the Universe, I should say, they have a lot of characters. So, I mean, it's cool. You could blend them together, and I don't see a problem in it. It's your world. You do what you want. All right, moving on. Next, we have the 501st Trooper Black Series. Once again, same size. Like I said, you can put them into the universe. I think they would go, I think it'd be pretty cool just to mishmash them all together. I like to do that kind of stuff in my collection, but I have separated them since I do have certain figures that are mishmashed in each one of my collections because, you know, that's just the way I have them. All right, let's compare to somebody else. Now, as you can see, we have Faker from the Revelations Masters of the Universe series, and he is way taller than Mer-Man. He's, you know, a lot more slender, not so beefy buck on him. But once again, two different styles, same universe. Revelations is a newer I should say, but once again, this is what you have. You have Revelations, which is a newer set of figures from Masters of the Universe, and then you have the Origins, which is from back in the day, just with some articulation. Once again, they're very cool figures, but this is how they compare to each other. All right, let's get to All right, so last but not least, we have Man-at-Arms from Masters of the Universe Revelations. And here, as you can see, once again, like you did with Faker, he is also taller, not so beefy buck looking as Mer-Man. But Still great figures, still going into the collection together. I'm not a big Revelations but as far as and you know, I did like the cartoon. That has nothing to do with it. I just don't, the figures don't appeal to me as much as the Origins do. So I do have, and if you didn't see my video on the Palace Guards, I do have that Man-at-Arms, and I do have the Filmation Man-at-Arms. This Man-at-Arms for me was a must-have, not to get off point here or off track. But the Revelations figures, like I said, I only have a couple, and I don't think I'm going to go very much deeper into this collection as far as that. But as far as the Origins, I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. If you didn't see my Panther, Flock Panther review, check it out. You can see some of the other Origin figures that I have. So let's wrap this up, and I'm going to go over some of the stuff with this guy. All right, so wrapping it up, as far as pros and cons with this guy, you know, I'm not really picky as far as, you know, single joints, double joints, all that stuff with these guys. I love the fact it's just a nostalgic for me, just so nostalgic for me to see these figures back in circulation. So I do enjoy doing these reviews for you guys. And this guy here, I'm glad I have him in my collection. I don't have the words to express how happy I am to have this figure and to have found him. Because from what I understand, he is one of the hardest figures, just like Beastman, to find. I was lucky to get my hands on him. Right place, right time. I got my hands on him. Here he is. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I don't really have very many cons with him because of the fact that, you know, he is just an articulated retro figure from back in the day. So that's it. And plus, he has the best head sculpt on him as far as for a Mer-Man, in my opinion. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment down below if you like what you're seeing, because it will help YouTube get the videos out there, and it's good for, you know, the algorithm to actually, you know, keep getting these videos more and more and more. I'm going to try to do more videos as much as I possibly can. Please stay tuned for some other videos that will be coming up, and I will catch you all on the flippity flip.